Hey guys, we are back with our donut competitions. We've gone through and pulled out our top 5 favorite donuts. Today is the first day we're going to be testing a recipe out.
You haven't even told me which one we're doing. I'm excited. I just want to eat them.
Okay, I know, me too, right? So the first donut recipe we're going to be making today is the cinnamon crunch donut. So I heard on the grapevine that that is one of your favorite breakfast cereals. Yes, Nina?
Oh my gosh, guys. If you haven't tried Cinnamon Toast Crunch, one right here, be prepared to eat the entire box after you have a bowl, another bowl, and yeah, it's seriously the best thing.
Very addictive. So
just a little.
This recipe actually comes from a guy called Mason Woodruff. Now you can go and check out his Instagram. I've had a good stalk. He has a couple of ebooks. He does a food blog. He's really creative when it comes to cooking. So Mason, we're going to try your recipe today, and it is it's certainly made our top 5 contenders for this donut challenge. So let's go through the ingredients, and then we're going to talk to you about the macro content of everything, and we're going to kind of rate it out of a score of 5 based on macros, taste, and texture.
And our presentation.
And maybe presentation. All right, let's get stuck into this. Alrighty, so the ingredients that we are using are
Keep stealing them.
our cinnamon toast crunch. So we're going to use 122 grams according to Mason's recipe. We're going to put that into a food processor, blend it all up, and that's going to form the foundation of our donut.
I'm so excited that they're in there.
I know, the bowl smells amazing. I would love to just pour some milk over this and just eat it right now.
Just eat it out of the bowl, not either.
Now, we're also going to be using some coconut flour. Usually a recipe would probably call for regular self-raising flour or flour of some description, but we're trying to keep the carbohydrates a little bit lower since we're throwing in so much cereal. So coconut flour is going in. Nina, what do you reckon this is?
That is protein powder.
Yay!
Yeah.
She guessed it. We're going to be using a plain vanilla protein powder. Mine actually has flecks of chocolate through it, but I would recommend sticking to a plain protein powder if you can.
Chocolate is just fine by me. I'm not complaining.
Now, something that I will say about your choice of protein when it comes to baking, specifically for this, is to use a whey protein concentrate. Now, concentrate has slightly higher amounts of carbohydrates and fats than it does an isolate. Isolate's obviously mostly protein only and very little carb. It goes a long way when you are doing baking because things tend to bind together, hold together a little better with the extra goodness.
I find in the past when I use like an isolate or like a whey protein, it can get a little dry, it can dry things out a little bit.
Yeah, it feels really claggy in your mouth. There's nothing to like give it fluff or any like goodness.
Casein, if you've ever made like a mug cake or something, it's just like really thick and moist.
I freaking hate that word.
I know,
oh my
me
god,
too,
you
but
have to use
it's the only way to describe it.
We're also going to be using some fat-free Greek yogurt because that is going to keep the fat content down of this recipe.
Just want to point out, it's so interesting, like here in the US, a fat-free yogurt is really thick.
Yeah, like
a normal one, whereas, you know, in Australia, I'm yet to have seen something like this, and mostly like really runny. So if you can get,
I know. If I had the time, I would definitely like open up the dairy industry in Australia because they're seriously missing out. Like fat-free cheese, fat-free feta. Like they have so much variation over here, so we're kind of lucky.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yay, good move. Win for America. Ding.
On dairy.
We're going to use egg substitutes as well, so that is in here. I'm not going to tip that up because it's going to spill everywhere, but any kind of egg white, egg substitute, powdered egg, whatever you prefer.
Now, if someone's going to use whole eggs, what would you recommend they do?
Well, we're using, I think this is 92 mils of egg substitute, so that would probably equate to 3 small eggs or 2 large eggs, but you're going to be increasing your fats when you do that, probably by around 10 grams into the total recipe mixture. So this way it keeps it nice and low, which is I'm guessing why Mason has chosen to use egg substitute. The final 2 ingredients. Nina.
Unsweetened applesauce.
Yay! Yes, okay. Bringing out that lovely apple cinnamon flavour. We've got 122 grams going in, which is 1 serve off most of the products' labels. And then finally, a little bit of extra cinnamon.
You can never have enough cinnamon. Seriously.
I'm going to just
add extra in there when you're not looking.
Right, so I'm going to list the ingredient amounts for you up on the screen so that you know exactly how much you're going to use. So let's get baking.
And how cool is this little thing? I just want to point out, I've actually never seen a donut maker. It's so good.
I haven't seen one either. So this is the key. Like, I have been cooking and baking for years, and I have avoided donuts and like Pop-Tart things like my entire life. And I realized it's because you can't really make them without it. We did buy a tray the other day. Let me show you.
It's very different in terms of size.
Yeah, so this one's actually a little bigger, and you can bake your donuts in here.
Yeah, but I've used that one with you, not this one. So I'm excited to see what this one is like. But they're so little, I could eat all of those like in a serving.
Oh, easily. So this is going to give you a crispier finish on the outside. You're going to bake it, you're not going to have that kind of crisp finish because you're going to spray this. The oils kind of make things change a little bit on the surface of your product when you're baking. So these are the two options if you would like to make your donuts at home. There is no other way, unless you want it to look weird.
Just like a muffin.
Yeah, right, okay, let's do this. Okay, so I have just processed the Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal in a food processor for about 30 seconds just to get it into like a flour-like consistency. Now, if you are celiac like me and you cannot have a whole grain wheat product like this, the alternative is this. So I was using Van's gluten-free to achieve basically the same outcome. So they are your options, and very similar macronutrient profile too. These are actually slightly lower in fat, which is great win for me. Woohoo!
Does that mean I get to eat this whole batch because you can't eat it?
Yeah, you do. Okay, so we're just gonna pop that into the bowl. So we'll go the dry ingredients first. Let's bring that out here. Cool. Whey protein concentrate if you have it. Coconut flour as well. Nina, you can do the liquids.
So is there a reason you put the dry ingredients in?
Yeah, well, I would actually mix those through first so that the flours are all combined. Do you want to grab a spoon out and then you can just give it a mix?
Give it a little mix. So we have the eggs. That one's a nice messy one. The dairy, the Greek yogurt. I love this stuff. It's so delicious. And really high protein too.
It is. It's like 23 grams of protein per serve, no fat, and about 9 grams of carbs.
Amazing. So. And the applesauce. Do not waste a macro.
No.
It's all going in.
Lift that all. All right, give it a mix.
Mixing that through so you can see.
Trying to get a nice consistency. Don't overmix it. I always have the problem of overmixing, especially.
Define overmixing, because.
Well, what can happen is if you overmix, you allow too much air to enter into the mixture, and that can be a problem with certain types of desserts. So things like cheesecakes, where you want to have the cheesecake coming out of the oven nice and flat. If you've overbeat it and there's too much air in the mixture, it starts to form cracks. So less of an issue with something like a donut. You're probably not going to get cracks, but yeah, always
pretty good.
The instructions. Yeah, that looks great. Perfect.
It smells delicious. I just want to eat it out of the
It really does. Right, so to start off with, I've just been preheating the donut maker. We're just going to take a flavoured butter spray, give that a quick spray over the donut tray just so that they don't burn and
have everything here, seriously. Can I get a butter spray?
Butter spray, no. So that will light up when it's actually ready, and then we're going to spoon this into the donut maker. Now, Mason recommends making 6 donuts, but I think he was using the large tray. So this is probably going to make a little more than that. I'm estimating around 10, but when we finish, I'll let you know. But based on Mason's macros, if you make 6 donuts using the donut tray, you're looking at 10 grams of protein and just under 3 grams of fat per serve. So around 152 calories per donut, which that's great. Pretty good, to be honest. Like, it's not like ridiculously low, but it's a good serving size. So
you could eat 2.
Yeah, easily. You could definitely eat 2. So I'm very excited to see how these turn out.
So the donuts are out.
They look pretty
They
good.
smell amazing. They look really good. They're little round circles.
Very
You
cute.
can see through that one. I'm gonna eat that one. I'll put that on this side. Holly's like,
I wish I could eat one.
that's okay, we'll make you a fresh batch,
We will.
gluten-free version. So what we've done is let them cool down a little bit so they're not like super hot. And now we're gonna make the icing.
We are the cinnamon glaze.
Every donut needs some icing.
It does. I think part of me wants to taste test this without anything, but who's going to eat the donut with nothing on it? Probably no one. So let's do it the right way and we'll get stuck into the glaze.
Cool, so we've already kind of pre-made our little mixture for the glaze. So what we have is we have half a scoop of protein powder in there.
Yep.
Getting our protein macros up with this recipe, which is great.
Yep.
We have half a tablespoon of the cornstarch. It's going to make it a little bit thicker. We have half a teaspoon of cinnamon. We have 1 tablespoon of stevia or any kind of like natural sweetener, and we've got 2 tablespoons of almond milk that we're going to pop in there.
The consistency of the glaze. Okay, so we are going to go.
It should be like runny but thick.
Yep. That's the coconut doing it, not the coconut, the
cornstarch.
cornstarch doing its magic
And
there.
the more you kind of mix it, the thicker it gets.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and spoon those over our donuts. 1 teaspoon, just a small amount, because we're actually then going to top these with a little extra cinnamon crunch. So the donuts actually came out a little bit browner than I would probably like. I would probably be inclined to reduce the cooking time that was listed on the recipe. So for the donut maker, it said 1 to 2 minutes. Whether the donut makers are a little different depending on the brand, I'm not too sure. But for this particular one, I would bring that back just a touch.
I think maybe because they're smaller too, so if they were bigger, they need a little bit longer.
That's exactly right.
Gonna crush it up.
Because they are such small donuts, definitely crunch up the cinnamon toast into very fine pieces, so you're going to get a big chunk of.
Just smells.
Although Nina might like that because you love her cinnamon toast crunch. She's like, just
I'll
pour
put
it in my
I'll
mouth.
put a donut on my cinnamon toast crunch. Like that's how I'll eat it. Guys, seriously, you need to try this cereal.
Yeah, I feel like Australians are missing out. There is a whole aisle devoted to cereals here, and it just blows my mind the flavors that they come up with.
Some of them, and the macros are pretty good, like they're not too crazy. I just, with this one, like it should come with a disclaimer warning of you can't
Do
stop at
not
one
eat
bowl.
because you will become addicted. So for Cinnamon Toast Crunch, for those that are interested in the macros, it is 25 grams of carbohydrate, 1 gram of protein. Now that's pretty standard across the board for nearly all breakfast cereals. It is a little higher in fat. It's 3 grams of fat for a 30 gram serve.
I'll
and
take it.
Because it is quite dense, 30 grams definitely doesn't cut it. Like if I'm pouring a serving of something like this, you're probably gonna have 50 grams or 60 grams.
60 at least.
Yeah, so you're effectively getting a little bit more fat and about 50 grams of carbs from this. So that's a great pre-workout. If you're looking for a convenient carbohydrate source before you train.
Post-workout too.
Yeah, that's totally fine as well.
Or any time of the day.
Alright.
Alright, this is
put
crushed
this
up
on.
enough. I'm gonna just sprinkle a little bit on each one. Just to kind of give it a little extra.
They look awesome. Mmm.
That looks amazing.
Doesn't it?
We have to make you a batch. I feel bad you can't have it.
We are. I will make some, don't you worry. Okay. Let's do the taste test. The reveal.
The reveal? So excited, these look amazing.
And?
That's really good.
What are you thinking?
That was really good.
Okay, so if you had to rate this out of 5 for a taste, where would it sit? Keep in mind, this is going to be pretty high protein, you know, it's not your traditional donut.
I mean, it is a little bit proteiny, like you get that little proteiny aftertaste.
Now, is that because of the icing or the actual donut itself?
I think a little bit of both. Mainly probably the icing because it is like
It's
glazed.
just protein.
But out of 5, it's love the Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I'd give this a 4 out of 5.
Wow, that's a pretty
Like,
good
I
score.
really like this. This is pretty good.
Okay, so I'm gonna put the macros up on the screen for the way I have cooked this. Okay, so it's made 14 donuts. There's actually 7 more cooking in the background over here. So it's made 14. I'll list the macros and then I'll obviously rate that out of 5 for how good I think they are as far as their nutrition is concerned. That brings us to the end of our first donut trial. So thank you very much, Mason Woodruff, for your donut recipe. Hopefully you are in the top contenders for the winner.
I'm done.
So the next donut that we're gonna do for you guys is a chocolate brownie recipe. So this one comes to us from Besma. She's a good friend of ours. She submitted her entry and it looks amazing. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna get to work on our chocolate brownie, keto friendly. So keto donuts.
I heard chocolate brownie and you heard me back.
I've already got her back in. Thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you on our next donut challenge. Bye.